what really happened between Jungkook and Taehyung just moments before it all started. ARMY has just been made riveted after a sudden message from Jungkook to Taehyung is suddenly revealed to the public. No one expected it, because the message was not just an ordinary greeting. Something feels different, deeper, more emotional, and for some reason, many immediately felt that this was no accident. The message came so quickly, like something that had been buried for a long time and then just spilled out. Jungkook wrote a short sentence, but the meaning seemed to slap the hearts of the fans. There are words that sound like support but also like a small farewell, like someone trying to calm someone down before a big journey begins. And this is where the ARMY begins to wonder, why now? Why exactly at the moment when rumors about a US tour are intensifying? Many fans immediately realized there were hidden clues in the way Jungkook conveyed his message. It's not a joke as usual. No redundant emojis. There is no relaxing tone. There is a raw emotion, honest, and feels very human. Taehyung was reportedly immediately silent after reading the message. Even some ARMY swears they saw a different reaction from V in the next upload, as if he wanted to retaliate, but didn't know what to say. And to make things even more shocking, some of the words in Jungkook's message sounded like code. It was a sign that something big was being prepared. Like, we'll soon be on the same stage again. Is this a sign of a tour? Or is it just that there are other emotional stories that they have been keeping close? ARMY began to dig, compare upload times, pay attention to small details, even count the minutes of the appearance of the message. Because it all feels too right to be called a coincidence. And if this is indeed a signal ahead of the US tour, then Jungkook's message is not just a message for Taehyung. That's probably a message to all the ARMY. That something will happen soon. That the big moment is approaching. And that their relationship remains that strong, even amid the schedules, distances, and pressures of the world. One thing is certain, this sudden message has opened the door to new speculation and made many people cry involuntarily. Because sometimes, just one sentence from Jungkook is enough to shake the whole ARMY's heart. And what made the atmosphere even more emotional was how the message felt like something Jungkook had wanted to convey for a long time, but only now had the courage to say it. Some soldiers even said they felt an unusual tremor. It's as if Jungkook is at the most serious point in his life, and Taehyung is the first person he wants to make sure is okay. Imagine, in the midst of huge preparations, grueling training, pressure ahead of an international tour, Jungkook instead chose to send such a personal message. Not to the media, not to the fans directly, but to Taehyung. That's what makes it all feel so real. And of course, fans began to ask in a trembling voice, is Jungkook trying to give Taehyung strength before they face the world again? Or is it that they will soon perform together on a US tour that has so far only been a rumor? Some big fanbase accounts are starting to notice his timing. The message came just as talk of a tour schedule began to leak in online communities. Many believe Jungkook may have inadvertently provided clues. Or maybe he did want the ARMY to know, without having to say it outright. Because BTS always has a unique way to signal. And the most surprising, there was one part of that message that made a lot of people cry right away. The sentence is simple, but it feels like a hug from afar. Like someone said, I'm here, we're going to get through this together. ARMY, who read immediately, felt like he was peeping into the private moments of two best friends who had gone through so many things together. From trainee times, big stages, to difficult times that they never tell the full story. Dan Taehyung, it does not give long replies. But it was precisely that silence that made everything even deeper. Because sometimes, the most emotional response is not words, but silence. The ARMY is now increasingly convinced that something big is approaching. The US tour may not be just an ordinary concert. It could be an emotional reunion. Moment of proof. The moment in which Jungkook and Taehyung again stand together brings with it all the feelings they have kept. And the more people talk about it, the clearer it becomes that this message is not just another sweet moment. Something feels like the beginning of a new chapter. Some ARMY even began to recall that whenever BTS was about to enter a big phase, there were always small signs that appeared first. A short upload, a simple word, A message that looks ordinary but actually holds great meaning. And this time it was Jungkook who gave the sign. What makes fans even more emotional is the fact that Jungkook rarely shows his fragile side openly. He often looks strong, cheerful, even full of energy. But this message is different. It's like an inner voice, like someone saying quietly, "I know it's not easy, but we have to move on." And if it's true that the US tour is getting closer, then this message could be not only support for Taehyung, but also for himself. The ARMY knows. Touring isn't just about the stage and the cheers. Touring is all about pressure, about the expectations of the world, about the missing, about an invisible wound. So when Jungkook wrote such an emotional message, fans immediately felt there was something they were preparing with their hearts, not just with practice. Taehyung was later seen more silent, deeper, more reflective. Many said his gaze at some moments felt like someone who was thinking about something big. And Jungkook's message seemed to be an answer without an answer, a reminder that they are not alone. The ARMY began to speculate. Is this a sign that they will soon appear together again? Will the US tour be an emotional comeback moment? Or even any big surprises yet to be announced? Because BTS never does anything without meaning. And this message is too strong to be taken as a coincidence. One thing is certain. In a matter of minutes, the message had already changed the mood of the fandom. The ARMY is crying. The ARMY was silent. The ARMY felt like it was standing on the threshold of something very big. And maybe, just maybe, this was the beginning of a story that would shake the world once again. Because if Jungkook had started talking with his heart like this, then the US tour was not just a concert. It will be an emotional journey. Dan Taehyung is the most important part of that story.